Hey guys, this is Tattoo Tony, and I want to let you know, keep watching this video because there comes a point in this video where we find something a little bit disturbing. And not only that, but this is a whole street full of these buildings. From the information I found on the internet, it looked like possibly these were built around 1910, 1916. It fits with other buildings I've seen dates on, I'm guessing. This area is actually even older than that. There was other things on this area. This neighborhood in St. Louis is known as the Grand Prairie neighborhood. It's in an area near Martin Luther King and Northland, some other streets. Not just for anybody to wander around here. I mean, it's a pretty high crime area. If you look up shootings or murders on Aldine, you'll find plenty of information about murders and crimes and gangs. And when we were riding around in this area, we saw, prostitution, potential crack dealing. I mean, broad daylight we were seeing stuff in this neighborhood, and there was some streets and places that I rolled down trying to find this place again that I was happy to move right past and move, go down the street. I'm not afraid, obviously, because I'm getting out with cameras and going into these places, but you definitely want to use some caution. A couple interesting things. This street used to be called Lucky Street instead of Aldine. There's also a school in the area that was opened in 1900 as a grade school for white children, and it became a black intermediate school in 1918, and then in 1927 it reverted back to an elementary school for black children. And so in any case, there were some segregation laws in St. Louis. I did a little bit of research, and it turns out that Baltimore, Maryland, introduced some segregation laws in around, I believe, 1910, and by 1916 St. Louis had adopted the same laws, and it had spread to St. Louis. In any case, some of the decline and dilapidation in some of these areas, I can't help but wonder. At the time, you've got to, believe that white income was probably higher than African American income, and perhaps some of the segregation laws have something to do with the history and the culture of the neighborhoods, but also perhaps the decline just because maybe there was a lack of revenue or money to keep things up. That's, I guess, speculation. So, apparently, like I said again, after the first segregation law was passed in Baltimore in 1910, the practice spread and reached St. Louis by 1916. Here, white neighborhood groups on the edge of black communities furnished much of the impetus for these local restrictions. A city-wide organization called the United Welfare Association was formed to promote segregation as a preventative against black incursions into white neighborhoods, on the premise this would be detrimental to property values. Those buildings behind this view,
Wow, they're tearing those down or something.
Sorry about that, I said it, I guess on the video. There's only one of those that looks like anybody is residing or using it. The rest of them look like they're currently being torn down.
Can't go down that way.
Historic St. Louis is going to be gone, guys. I mean, there's going to be a small amount left at some point. There's already thousands of properties that have disappeared. Part of my mission is to preserve what I can through video and also entertain.
(2009).
In any case, the segregation laws were not outlawed until 1949, and you can almost be assured that it didn't stop at that point. While the laws may have no longer
Didn't return their library book.
the laws may no longer have been in effect, but I really liked that. I wish I had a lamp like that. That one was a little beat up and the top was messed up, but in any case, I like things with, I don't know, use an older term, oriental, like an oriental feel. Here we go into the basement. There were a few steel I-beams. I'm sure those were probably put in at a later date to help support the structure. These were converted a long time ago into multiple family dwellings, I believe. And a lot of times in these basements you'll see those kind of wooden slats you saw a second ago. And I believe those are to like separate off people's storage areas. In one of these basements I saw a lock on one of them, so I'm sure they were put there to separate people's stuff.
Oh, this is weird.
I think that was a piece of that air returner vent.
No. Wooden gasket. The light makes it hard to see. It's part of a spinal column, dude. You see that? What is that from? It's a spinal column. Is it not? It's wrong, dude. Yeah, from a spine, though. It's from a piece of a spine. That's fucked up. Let's see. Somebody tell me, is that human or from a dog? It's from something that's bigger.
Another thing, in those buildings there were bags full of old belongings, a kid's book bag, kind of had to get going, but I'm kind of curious what's in all those bags. They didn't look to be bags of trash. So, anyways, thanks for watching, liking, sharing, subscribing, watching ads, supporting me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me because I love doing this, and I'm not sure I would be driven to do as much if it weren't for you guys that continue to watch and support. So, thanks a lot.